So, I'm back. And we are using the entire Major Arcana. We're going to be going over a very simple exercise that I perform with the tarot at least once a day. Especially prior to any ritual work. But this is very useful for anything. If you're going out, let's say you have an interview at a job, and you're meeting people for the first time, you want to make a good impression. Do this ritual beforehand so you know what's going on inside your dome. You can understand what you're projecting onto other people. And if necessary, change it. And that is very important. Because no matter what, you are constantly projecting something onto everybody around you, unknowingly. And the whole point of this entire process, not just tarot, but magic itself, is learning how to control what you are putting out there. Because you'll get back what you put out. So if you're putting out good, you'll receive good. If you're putting out bad, you'll receive bad. And this is a lesson that I know better than anybody else, because I've had some shit. So, it doesn't really matter whether cards are upside down or right side up, because as far as this goes, there is a lot of bad cards, but not really bad per se. It's all just, you're trying to find out the inner workings of you. That and the way we'll be picking them up, it doesn't matter. So, once you feel you have them shuffled decently, you take and fan the entire deck in a circle. This comes from the book that came with the Aleister Crowley Book of Thoth deck. Even though I don't have one, I do have a PDF of the actual book that came with the tarot deck. And this is one of the exercises from that book. Just to be clear, that's not the book that I showed you in the first video. Although I will be going over some of the exercises that are in that book as well. I figured this is a very useful ritual. And it's very simple. And now that you have it circled out, you'll take your left hand. Whenever you do this, your left side of your body correlates to your third eye and your psychic abilities. So you will close your eyes, you will picture your third eye in between your eyes, and you will also envision an eye in the palm of your hand. And as you're rotating your hand clockwise, you will ask yourself, what energies are influencing me right now? And whenever you feel the urge to stop, you stop and you place your finger on a card, doesn't matter which finger, and then you flip it over. The moon. So the first, you could pull up to 3 cards. I usually pull 3 cards just to get a good idea, because there's so much going on inside a human brain at any given moment. One card can't really make up for everything. The moon can mean a lot of different things. Generally, it means deception. the Six of Cups. Pleasure. Which, yeah. Yeah. Another major arcana. The Chariot. Willpower. The Vessel. Also, the card of Cancer, which is my birth sign. While this isn't my birth card I do believe is the 2 or the 3 of Cups. And I'll show you how to find your birth card too in a later video. But that is that. Very simple. So by the looks of this, the energies that are influencing me right now is deception, pleasure, and will. And if you actually knew me, that'd probably make a lot of sense. My recent activities have been questionable. And I'm not talking about my on-camera activities. Very simple. It doesn't really have a name, and you could formulate any question and answer it in that method. But as always, try to stay away from physical questions. That and also yes and no questions. You really can't ask a tarot deck yes and no questions and get yes and no answers, because there is no yes and no inside the entire deck. I mean, look at it. Where do you see yes or no? No, it's very complicated. Almost like the Bible. The tarot speaks in symbols and metaphors, and that's pretty much every religion, though, except for some of the neo-religions like Satanism that just speaks in idiot. But the tarot deck itself, the entire deck is a storybook, and really you should be working with the entire deck, even the minor arcana. And I will get to that too. After the Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram, I will show you how the entire tarot deck correlates with the Tree of Life. The minor arcana accounts for each one of the 10 spheres, and the major arcana account for the pathways connecting each one of them. That is a major part of understanding how tarot works. And like I said before, tarot cards' primary function was never to do fortune telling. Although it works, the tarot's primary function is a learning tool. And this specific deck that I told you to get, the New Golden Dawn, is the only deck. While the Aleister Crowley Thoth deck has a lot, it's done by a better artist and it looks prettier. This is the only deck that uses flashing colors. And if you don't know what that means, that is 2 colors that in contrast, yellow-purple. If you stare at long enough, they will switch. And it's very hard to do. You literally have to go without blinking for a good 5 minutes, something like that. But it will happen. And that's supposed to, even if you never get the flash to occur, just looking at the colors is supposed to awaken third eye a lot quicker than normal tarot cards, especially the Rider-Waite. Because a lot of people swear by the Rider-Waite deck, but what they don't know is Sir Waite was sworn to secrecy by the Golden Dawn, and unlike Aleister Crowley and Israel Regardie, he was very serious about not breaking those vows. And he kept a lot of things out of his tarot deck. For one, I don't even think the Hebrew letters for the major arcana are on those. Nor I don't think that symbol is either. I'm not sure because I've never actually seen one in real life, but I've done research on the topic, and that was my ultimate conclusion. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, click that like button, and we will be getting into the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram next. Have a good night, folks.